What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, I'm back with another incredible guest, so sit back, relax, and tune in. My next guest is a leadership coach, an organization development specialist. Please welcome Daphne Michaels of Daphne Michaels International. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Deanna. I'm delighted to be here.
This is long overdue.
Yes, it is. We've been in contact for a long time, so it's really great to be here.
But that must mean you're super busy, you're rocking and rolling, and you're out there making moves.
I really am, and it is fun. I really enjoy it.
I tell you, life is a challenge. If you're not challenging yourself in some way, then you're not doing it right.
Isn't that the truth? Sometimes I think, why am I doing this? And then when I'm in the flow, there is
Yeah,
nothing better.
yeah, absolutely. 100%. So tell me a little bit about what got you into, I feel like we can't have enough leadership coaches because we have so many leaders that are not being the best that they can be. I'm choosing my words
Yeah.
carefully. But
Well,
I love it when I get a chance to talk to a leadership coach. So tell us a little bit about like what got you into that space.
my journey goes back a long way. I actually started with my own kind of aha moment when I was very young, around 19 years old.
Oh wow.
And yeah, at that moment, which I talk about in my books, I had an epiphany. And the epiphany was that life has two different dimensions, at least. And one dimension is pretty horrible
Yeah.
and the other dimension is incredible. So, trying to figure out how those two work together, knowing that we all have a choice to choose, we all have a way to choose which dimension we live in.
Yeah.
And that took me into being a licensed psychotherapist. So I
Oh,
started
okay.
my journey as a licensed psychotherapist. I worked with all sorts of people in terms of a mental health um, paradigm. And I quickly outgrew it
Sure.
because it's one thing to help people gain stability after they have lost their way. And it's another thing to help people unfold their potential.
Yeah.
So mental health gets people so far, but it doesn't really finish the journey. So that took me to really diving into what is human potential and how
Mm.
do we finish the journey?
Yeah.
So that took me into launching an institute for the development of human potential and
Oh, wow.
starting to work with individuals. But what happened is that leaders started coming. And
Okay.
so leaders from Fortune 500 companies or leaders that were making an impact on the national and even international level were coming to learn how to unfold their own potential. So it's just been an amazing journey. I've been doing that for about 25 years.
Do you still have the institute?
I have the institute. The institute morphed after COVID
Okay.
because what I did was in person basically every weekend, intensive human potential work.
Yeah.
And when you do intensive human potential work, it kind of slides into the spiritual, really,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
people are, tapping into who they are on that deep of a level. So when COVID came along, I had to shift very quickly to an online model.
Okay.
And so the Institute did shift, but I'm doing it a little bit differently now.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing is I'm actually splitting off the leadership work. So now I'm going full blown into what I call elite leadership transformation.
Oh, wow. I
And
love that.
I'm inviting leaders to come to a 5 day intensive where we do
Cool.
really powerful 5 day. They sleep there, they
Yeah.
eat there, they're together. And we just really look at what does it mean to be a leader in this moment? It's different than any other moment.
Oh,
And
yeah.
who do we need to become?
Yeah.
That's the big question. And how do we get there?
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you're dealing with Chat GPT, AI, social media, there's just so many different nuances in today's world that we didn't have 25 years ago. It's-
Absolutely. Yeah, the whole AI thing is absolutely incredible because it's a game changer, no doubt about it. From an organization development standpoint, AI has to be a player. There's no way to get around it.
Yeah,
So I do both leadership work and I do organization development work. So on an organizational development standpoint, the questions are really big too. How do
sure.
you develop coordination in your organization with AI and with human teams, and how do they work together?
Interesting.
Mhm.
Oh, I love can you answer that question? How do they work together? I love that.
Yeah. So, it depends on the culture of the organization.
Yeah,
Because I think what we're seeing right now, which is really exciting, kind of on the larger scale, even though we're in tremendous alchemy, the whole world is kind of um, going through so much right now. But what we're seeing is that the people have a place to influence the outcome of everything we're doing.
yeah,
And so when you're looking at an organization and how to integrate AI into that organization, you really have to ask how the employees are going to accept it.
yeah,
So, because if the employees do not accept AI, there's going to be a problem. It's going to be a low morale like never before. And it's going to be low morale in relation to AI, which is not even human, but it's kind of playing that role.
a little bit.
So, yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
So then you really have to look at how to work alongside AI and what that really means in terms of what part does AI do and
sure.
what part do humans do. And what I like about AI is that there's a lot that we can put on AI that we don't have to do ourselves. You know that, right? In terms of
I use it
marketing
every day.
every single day.
I use it every day. I've
Yeah.
embraced it. I love it. It helps
Mm-hmm.
streamline a lot of my work. You still have
Yes.
to almost babysit it, so to speak, because it has to
Yes.
come from you. It can't be
Definitely.
like I think that's where people are confused, where maybe they don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to talk to it to get it to do what they need it from their point of view. And I think that's where you just have to play with it and work with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and learn how to ask the questions,
Right.
right?
Oh yeah.
And that is one of the big shifts right now, both in leadership and organization development, is that it's not so much about having the answers because we have to discover the answers together,
Yeah.
but it's more about what are the questions?
Yeah.
If we find the right questions, we're going to find the right answers.
So, are leaders putting in place any type of training around how to work with the AI and like just to get comfortable with it?
So it depends on the level of the organization.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I know that large Fortune 500 organizations, I think, are really starting to put this in place. And there's a new position that's being been created, actually. It's called a Chief AI Officer. And that position, if anybody is starting their schooling now, that position for a large company is paying about $500,000 a year.
Woo!
Yes,
Wow.
yes. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Right? Because to have a chief AI officer in your organization, figuring out how to create these human and AI teams that are going to rock and roll for the benefit of the company and the benefit of the customer,
Yeah.
that's a big job.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think
Hmm.
about that. I mean, I've actually implemented so for some of my other things that I do, I've signed on to this new CRM system that gives me an AI chat bot. And so
Uh-huh.
that's it's in the process of getting programmed right now for my other thing that I got going on. And it's just I mean, I think it's great. I'm like, okay,
Absolutely.
have the AI bot answer the call for me, start the conversation, and then send me the lead.
Yeah,
Because
yes.
I mean, all the large companies are doing it, so I'm like, well, why not?
Well, absolutely. And, the thing is that for people like us that have smaller companies that want to make a big impact,
Yeah,
then AI is our friend, right? It gives us the marketing department. It
yeah,
gives us so much of the sales department. It gives us all these different departments that are really, you can actually um, program it to your voice, your brand,
yeah.
your
Mhm.
your message, and then work with it as it's coming up with what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And the speed is worth it.
Wow. I'm love these conversations. I feel like some of the events that are out there for AI are just kind of like surface level that they don't really get
Exactly.
into. They don't really get into like let's deal with the fear of working
Mm-hmm.
with it, because
Exactly.
that's where the disconnect is,
That is
right?
where the disconnect is. Yes, the fear and the shift in the culture,
Yeah.
right? Because some people are mad at AI because, or they're suspicious of AI, and they should be because
Yep.
AI could be a problem, right? Because AI, there's also this other thing that's happening with AI, which is AI psychosis. Have you heard of that?
No, no.
Okay, so this is something that's really big in the mental health circles right now, and it's
Oh,
a real thing. And what's happening is that people are beginning to use AI as guides, personal guides.
oh, yeah.
And then AI is telling them to do things that harm them. Or it's, yeah, so self-harm. There have been examples where people have followed AI and terrible things
That's
have happened.
that's really
Mhm.
that's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So, Wall Street Journal, I believe it was, and New York Times, and all the mental health kind of circles are trying to get their mind around how to treat AI psychosis. It's actually a diagnosis that they're using now, and it's happening a lot. So it's a
God
problem.
forbid I ever get that weak-minded.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really about being weak-minded, honestly.
Well,
It's
I mean, you have to be so lost if you're going to listen to like if you're going to type in something and just listen to it without having any critical thought.
Well, I don't, I mean, okay, so then we have to get into the chemistry behind it,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because when people are working with AI, and this is my belief around it, I'm sure that in the mental health circles, they're starting to look at this as well. It would be interesting to see what they say. But there's chemistry being released. People get high on AI,
Sure.
right? So they actually have probably dopamine and neurotransmitters
But
and
but
all
from what
sorts of things happen.
but from what
Yeah.
part of it though? Like I'm just thinking about how I use it and like I don't know how that would give me a dopamine hit.
From the potential, right? From the potential. Because when people are working with AI and all of a sudden they have content coming through that is like, oh my gosh, I couldn't put that into words, but that's exactly what I thought.
Hmm.
And then
Okay.
and then you start asking AI about spiritual things or energetic things, and you start having these conversations like, what happens after we die? What is AI going to say about that? People are looking that up and getting actually some pretty good answers
Oh,
or
dear Lord, help us.
or answers that they feel satisfied with. Right.
Whoa.
So when you look at AI being more intelligent than the collective of humanity, people are putting trust into it and feeling like they're getting answers that are kind of beyond where we can go on our own. And I do think that creates a shift or a potentially can create a shift in perception
Well,
where
absolutely.
people are getting,
You lose
lock.
you lose your humanity if you're going to listen to a robot.
Yeah, yeah, it is quite a thing. It really is.
You
Well,
just
that's
kind of
just
you kind of
one
just
part of
shook
it.
my world a little bit.
Did I? Did I? Well, I mean, I think so. So back to leadership,
Yes, yes,
every single leader needs to understand this,
yeah,
right? Which is that AI has to be integrated carefully on every level.
yeah,
And AI has to be integrated in a way that people are going to welcome it and work with it and get used to it and learn how to work with it as a personal agent. And then the downfalls of AI, like we're talking about right now in terms of AI psychosis, I think every single leader needs to understand that as well.
yeah. Well, I had no idea.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
because so I actually interviewed a gentleman many years ago who was part of the beta test group for ChatGPT.
Ah,
And
okay.
we talked. Yeah, I don't remember his name because it was many years ago. Like right there, he was on kind of promoting it, right? And he just talked about the morality behind AI and how it's
Totally.
got to be very careful to police that because of how it could evolve, right? And so when you tell
Yes.
me that people are
Hmm.
asking AI something and they're getting a negative response that would cause them harm, that's bothersome because they're supposed to have checks and balances in place so that it doesn't get to that point.
I think that's one of the great big things they're looking at right now
Yeah.
because I don't think, well, for one thing, from what I understand, nobody understands how AI actually works, right? So
Oh,
so
that's great.
it's a learning model. It's training itself at this point, from what
Yeah.
I understand. So it's a little bit beyond us. And the thing that is not coded into it is empathy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have empathy, but it sounds like it's possible for it to be programmed in at least some empathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that, yeah, we've got a ways to go.
Do you work with leaders that are against like embracing AI?
Yes.
You, oh wow,
Yes,
really?
yes.
Huh.
Well, I would say I work with leaders who are conflicted around embracing AI, especially when they love their company culture
Yeah.
and work is like family to a lot of employees. So it's really difficult to integrate AI and understand actually, this part of the job we can have AI do. So, what does that mean in terms of our people?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think AI, because of AI right now, there's a lot of layoffs from what I understand. And so I think a lot of leaders are conflicted about it. And at the same time, they understand that if they do not embrace it, and I wouldn't even say embrace, I would say get ahead of the curve, then their company is going to be left behind.
Well, true. Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
that's we're moving
Yeah.
at such a fast pace with change
Yes,
and everything
totally.
that's happening around us that I think that everybody's just wanting to see where the chips fall, but I don't know if they ever will.
Right. They may just fly around up there for as
You know
long
what
as
I mean?
we,
Like we'll just keep going
yes,
at this exponential rate. Like
yes,
we're just keep growing and
yes.
growing and evolving. And it's
I
just,
agree.
yeah, pretty,
I totally agree.
yeah.
We're in an accelerated growth process for sure.
Wow, I did not expect this conversation to go this way. But I learned AI psychosis. That's a new one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's a new one
Yeah.
that I'm gonna have to bring up with certain
Hmm.
people.
Yeah, parents, I think, need to know about it for sure because
Oh
I
yeah.
think teenagers are the ones that are very vulnerable to it. And then anybody really, anybody.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know how to monitor yourself, like where was I? I had a networking event or something. You're talking about like how you're supposed to utilize it as a personal assistant. I was like, well, yes, that's exactly what I do. You
Hmm.
know, you're
Yeah.
not supposed to be dependent on it like it's your companion. It's supposed to help you get certain tasks done that would take you longer.
Yeah. 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 Totally. And that is totally what people are doing in the workplace.
Yeah.
They're understanding where to plug it in the workplace. I think it's where people are, 11 o'clock at night, they're trying to figure their life out. and they don't have anybody to talk to, so they just start chatting with AI, and they end up having conversations that are, well, because some of the conversations, AI is pulling from therapy, it's
Yeah, right. Yeah.
pulling from
Mhm.
spirituality, it's pulling from human potential, and so it's got some stuff that's coming through that's pretty insightful. However, it is also um, it is also programmed to um, to flatter people. So
Yeah.
that I think is kind of where things get out of hand. And I think that's what they're trying to figure out what to do about it.
So I haven't had conversations, but I've plugged
Okay.
things in just out
Yeah.
of curiosity. Let me just see what this thing has to say. I'll get annoyed with the questions that starts asking
Yeah.
me. Like I just get annoyed by it.
Yeah.
Like, don't keep asking me questions.
Right.
But I think that's where people kind of get
Mhm.
lost in that process
Yeah.
where you could continue. Yes, yeah, you could just keep going. And it's just like, at what point do you realize, okay, you're not having a conversation with a human, you're having a conversation with,
Exactly.
like, that's just not healthy. At least for me,
Exactly.
I'm like, that's not healthy. I'm annoyed. I just
It's
turn it off.
Yes, it's exactly right. It's not healthy.
No,
Right? Right. So yeah, so we've got a lot of work to do when it comes to AI and learning to live with it, learning to
sure.
live alongside it, both in business and in our personal lives.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so if people want to, what's your ideal like client that wants to come work with you? Obviously someone in leadership, but what does that look like for you?
So what I'm doing right now, like I said, is these retreats,
Yeah.
and the retreats are 5 day, four night, 5 day retreats on 40 acres at a retreat
Ooh,
center.
nice.
Just, I mean, really beautiful, because I think nature really has to be, the environment matters when we're doing human potential work.
Yeah.
So, so the leader that I think is the best suited for what I'm offering are leaders that are working CEOs of companies that are probably 10 million plus.
Okay.
So that means anywhere from, 20 employees to
Sure.
200 employees.
Yeah.
Below that, it's a different kind of process, right? But once you're responsible for a company of that size, you have to be ready to go to the next level of your own capacity. And a lot of leaders who are CEOs today, they never went through leadership training,
No.
right? They learned what the company, through the company oftentimes. And
Yeah.
so they advanced to it. But in terms of really embodying what it means to be able to have almost X-ray vision, to see what's happening in your organization in terms of patterns and flow and coordination, and how it can all work together for the
Yeah.
benefit of the company and the benefit of the customer. That's a different level of leadership.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's what I like helping people get to,
It's in,
embracing and embodying that.
it's interesting. We're talking about AI and then human potential. I
Yeah.
mean, so it's kind of opposite but
To,
intertwined.
it is intertwined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
in fact, I would say that AI is supporting human potential at that level.
Agreed. Agreed.
Right, right.
Yeah. With that,
So, yeah,
yeah. With that being said, Daphne, where can people find you, connect with you, and learn more working with you?
my website is daphnemichaels.com, and that's a great place to connect.
And on LinkedIn as well.
And on LinkedIn.
Awesome. You guys,
Mhm.
I'm going to put those links in the show notes. So if you connect with Daphne, want to learn more about her 5 day retreats for human potential, go ahead and click the link, go give her a follow, go check out our website and schedule a call. I'm sure she'd love to connect with you. Daphne, this is the part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
Well, I think all of us have to think about being leaders. And in terms of those of us who are leaders in our communities or in our work, um, think about embracing a new level of leadership that is going to really allow us to tackle these issues of today.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, this conversation totally went in a direction I did not expect, but well, I think we all learned something new today and
Well,
some things that we need to be aware of. And I'd say, from my perspective, embrace the change. Don't allow it to guide you, right? There's two
absolutely.
different things there. And I think that's what I learned from this conversation with you.
It's awesome. Embrace it. Put your arms around it and
Yeah.
go.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing your
Oh,
wisdom and what you do. I think that any leader that has not worked on themselves and that human potential definitely needs to take a look at that and look into working with you. So we
thank
appreciate you.
you.
Thank you for sharing what you do.
Thank you, Deanna.
You're welcome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more.